alive. So I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Today's stream topic is about how there can be blessings that come with a curse, or at least maybe we should seek the blessings in our curses, right? Today's stream topic was inspired by Jovan. She, unfortunately, went through some challenges as of late. Her car had some issues and had to go into a repair shop, and that whole situation is a debacle. If any of you friends have ever had something repaired by mechanics, right? Like the whole finances of that situation. But despite this whole experience, this whole fractal she finds herself in, that can be considered a curse. You know, her family members have been lovingly supporting her and standing by her and wanting to help her, like sort this thing out, like at least through conversation. And she mentioned to me, she told me the story that as she was walking back home from work, she doesn't live that far away from work at least, but as she's walking away, like walking from from work to home, in the snow, one of her friends stopped next to her and then, sees her walking and tells her, "Hey, how are you walking?" And she's like, and explains the situation to him. And he then lends her his car so that she has something to drive. She doesn't have to walk to work, And like, this is a very me referencing someone else's story as a way to kind of like get us around explaining today's stream topic, right? That the blessing that is seeing people love you, the blessing that is having other people help you, the blessing that is, people wanting to support and, see you succeed or see you not get hurt by this whole situation. All of that, in my mind, at the very least, are the blessings that arise every single time we experience something we would consider a curse. So, with all of that in mind, thank you for joining me. They changed my YouTube interface. My timer and my view counter is now in the middle of my screen. Usually it used to be in the left corner. Right? I would look there to see my time. Now I'm gonna look there. Does it make a difference? Can you notice the difference? I wouldn't be surprised if they changed for that reason. I have a bowl stacked of strawberry runts. I'm getting cooked by the humidity. It's like a little bit uncomfortable. Everything feels wet, but I'm coping. The plants love it. Yeah. And as I say, the plants love it. I feel these beads of sweat running down my abdomen. Okay. Without further ado, I want to find the blessings in the curse that is this high humidity. One of the blessings is the plants love it. One of the other blessings could be, is it good for my skin? Hey Google, is high humidity good for my skin? High humidity can help your skin stay hydrated and look younger, but it can also increase your chances of breaking out. Meanwhile, low humidity can dry your skin out and increase premature aging. Because of this, it's important to tailor your skincare routine to your current humidity level. Do I look young? Do I look vibrant? Is the humidity making a difference? Tell me, friends. It's interesting to see how these strains change as well as they age. As I keep them in their little jars. Today seems like it's going to be a quiet day. Maybe for all of us. Maybe for me too. Yoga was super quiet. Didn't have much to say. Even waking up today, like I did wake up earlier than I usually intend to, but I felt energetic and like I wanted to go and do things. And then when I met the outside world, I realized that the world was very much not in the same state of being I was in at that point in time. So I ended up working in the garden a little bit. Hey, Kate is here. What a blessing. Sending you so much love. Thank you for joining us, dear friend. Sorry. It just feels like 4 a.m. No, you don't have to apologize, Kristen. Like, I feel like that's just, today's energy. Even during my yoga, right? Like giving my yoga class, it was hard for me. It felt like I was forcing myself a little bit, you know. Maybe today's stream topic can kind of like illuminate. Maybe we're all cursed right now. Maybe we've been cursed by the tired. We've been cursed by the lethargy. We've been burning hot this year, coming into it, and like we're entering the end of our second week. And like maybe the universe is telling us to slow down a little bit. So we're feeling that energy. I see Mojo here too. Blessings to you, friend. It's nice having all of you here. Morning, friends. How's everyone doing? I'm feeling good. I have been proactive in the garden as of late, which has been very nice. Right? I feel like it's a part of me that I don't usually get to be, and I would like to spend more time being that version of me. I will be this year. I might end up just like planting a bunch of succulents, stuff that can grow in this arid environment. I already have an idea. I just don't know if I'll have enough plants to take with me. I'll take a few plants and then I'll make more plants out of my plants. That's the nice thing about succulents, at least. I was doing that today, and I was also like building basically like trellis nets, out of wires over top my plants. I've known about like low stress training for a long time, but every single time I get to the point where I'm supposed to start doing stuff like that, my plants are too big, or I don't have the right equipment or the right stuff in my mind to do it so that it looks nice. I'm like a little bit obsessed with making it look nice, right? And I'm sometimes unwilling to even start if I can't make it look nice. Maybe that's one of my curses, right? My curse is I don't want to start unless I can do it perfectly. However, the blessings that arise from that way of being is that I end up, at least in my mind, doing things pretty thoroughly, right? Like I really show up for it. This, however, my current project is very much not like that. I've kind of embraced the imperfect. I was like, bro, no matter what you do, because I don't even have like long continuous lines of wire. I have like this, I don't know what it even was. It looked like it was like some sort of other cable insulation wire, like all twisted together. And I have like short runs of that, like that big of pieces. So I'm like taking those pieces and then attaching them to each other, and then taking those attached pieces and then creating infrastructure, so that I can train my plants. It's kind of tedious, and yet at the same time satisfying. I feel like I am making progress, and the more progress I make, the more satisfying. So much so that I was working up until the point where I had to ask someone else, what the time was, and it was like 10 minutes to 3, and I realized in that moment that if I didn't think about time, I would have probably still been busy there, like building on that stuff. And a part of me likes that, right? A part of me likes that energy of almost like getting lost, a flow state that you kind of put yourself in. I'm trying to think if I'm thinking anything. Like I've been thinking less, which is kind of nice as well. Maybe that's why I don't have much to say today. I just feel like a deep sense of calm. Like this future we're building on doesn't have to be perfect, right? We just have to start. Maybe that's the energy I'm feeling. I finally tested negative for COVID on the 10th after 3 weeks of being exhausted and coughing, but it could have been much worse. I'm back to 98%. Bless you, Kate. I'm happy that you're recovered, dear friend. That sucks. I think Joy Vive, I don't know if she's out of it, but Joy Vive has also been COVIDing a little bit. I was forcing myself and had no stability. You too, huh, Joyleaf? How curious. How curious is that? The fact that all of us had like that those feelings. Like I've been doing that yoga practice for like almost going on it's going on 2 years now, right? And still today for me was hard. Like I had a hard time practicing today, right? Experientially from the perspective of like, I don't really want to do this right now. And from the other perspective of like, do I want to be queuing? Do I want to do this? Do I want to be queuing yoga class right now? Really? And then I'm like, yo, just because you don't like it today doesn't mean you're not going to like it tomorrow. Doesn't mean you're not going to like it 5 weeks from now, right? Like don't sell yourself short because you are, not completely stimulated or satisfied or happy in this moment. We lose a lot in that way. In yoga, Mojo, bless you. After also, I have been dealing with waterline break, and they dug up my yard. Shit, that sucks. I hope you don't have to do anything, but it still sucks having all of that construction noise and people outside of your space. I'm sorry, Joyviv. Sending you blessings. You'll get there, Joy. Supplementing yoga with exercises to strengthen your balancing muscles will help you get there faster. Absolutely. Slowly but surely. Wow, sorry you had to go through that, Kate. Glad you're almost over it. Bless. Glad you're better. So much love being said. Joy, did you lose water during that mess? My water usage is up 89% according to the water company Mojo. Just suddenly, significantly more water is being used. And I'm guessing, as you said, it's a water break. So there's a pipe leaking underneath your yard. I kind of thought it was more like a main pipe broke, right? And then because of that, like the whole block was having water issues, but it's just you. That's even worse. Sorry, Joy. I'm happy that we live in an age where there's people to help at least. Silver linings. Guess who forgot to change their phone, so it died during charge their phone, so it died during yoga. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Xiao. It's nice having you here, friend. What kind of meter do you have? A smart meter, but I'm not exactly sure what that means. Means it's smart. It's so smart. Einstein water meter. Smart water meter probably just means it's an Internet of Things device, right? I think that's the way I understand it. In other words, it can connect to the internet, right? And it's probably taking some sort of data reading. It's like, yes, this amount of water is being used. I am going to connect to the internet and tell them. It's basically like little snitches, you know? If ever anybody tells you the device is smart, just translate in your mind to this device is a snitch. And then you'll understand. Smart meter love again. I got your message this morning. It's so beautiful to see people falling in love with that series. Attack on Titan. Which one is it? Which one? Which one? Please tell me. Smart meter. You're using it up. They're trying to screw you. I hope not. Like digging up the yard with them trying to screw you over and upping your charges. That seems like so much human suffering and human effort and time wasted, right? Like curses, so many curses upon us as human beings. I hope it's like it sounds weird to say it like that, but I hope it is just a pipe leak or a pipe break somewhere. Like I think they could test it technically speaking with like pressure differentials. I don't know though. I guess digging up the yard is one way to do it. 89%. Have you filled your indoor swimming pool? Yeah, maybe Joy Viva is one of those bikini Twitch streamers, that have like kiddie pools in their living rooms because they have to be close to a body of water in order to wear. I'm sorry, JV, to paint you in that picture. That's very rude of me. I apologize. Here in MO, the scam was tell people their old meter need to be replaced and digitized. Get Honeywell to do the work. Thing is, one of our city council members is on Honeywell's payroll. Nice. So they replaced the meters. They found the meters were wildly overestimating usage, and it just went along with it. Yeah. At least we know about stuff like this, right, Sam? Like just the fact that you know, and now you have shared it into our zeitgeist of this mind, this collective mind, means that they'll try and fuck us over, but they'll only succeed for so long, because people get upset quickly. We have Duck Dad here saying Joy was indoor swimming pool, everyone over to Joy's house. Smart device equals snitch. Got it. Does kind of make sense, right? Does kind of make sense. Part of me is like, yeah, smart devices are snitches, aren't they? I like literally, I was like mildly paranoid as of late, little bit paranoid. Like there was this very cheap LED Wi-Fi based light, right? Like so cheap that I'm like, bruh, there has to be some subsidizing happening somewhere in that like supply chain for it to be that cheap. And then my mind starts tripping out about this Wi-Fi connected light fixture has like a microphone built into it, right? And the way they subsidize the cost of that cheap light fixture is just by listening to you, so they can train their own AIs, on human language input or whatever. And I was like, bro, you hear that quail up above? His name is Frank White. Say it with me. Fuck Frank White. Frank White, that wasn't cool, bro. Stealing from people through the medium that is their water, which is a human necessity, something we need in order to live. And that's not cool, bro. Don't do that. Nobody likes that, though. Please. You guys are making me feel better about this debacle. The water company has some sort of leak credit, but not until it's fixed. God, okay. Sending you blessings, Joy. I'm happy that we could at least, lighten the mood a little bit. Good morning to you as well, Duck Dad. Going to brave the elements and walk the doggies. It's 6 Fahrenheit currently, dropping below zero. I get to work on an outdoor hot tub. Are people hot tubbing while it's snowing outside? Right? Like, I guess I get it. I get sitting in a nice hot tub looking at white snowlands. I get it. I do. Would I do it though? Maybe once. Maybe as like a thing. Like I have bungee jumped. I have bridge swanged. I have hot tubbed in the snow, right? And then I'll be done. I don't think I'll continue. Are you building the entire thing? Are you building it out of like tiles and bricks? Are you installing it? I need more context, bro. I get to work on an outdoor hot tub. Maybe you're just fixing stuff around. Bikini Twitch streamers. How have I missed this blessing? Mojo, I'm so sorry to put this in your mind, right? But I watch Moist Critical videos, and he's pretty uh, direct, let's say, right? And he did this coverage of like one of the Twitch streamers whose whole thing is to come up with new and novel ways to basically, display like lewd content on Twitch, and not get banned for it. And because of her new and creative ways to do these things, like there's a bunch of other creators that do that stuff as well, that like instantly copycat her. And it's like this whole, I guess, a community, right? In my mind of degeneracy, but that's again my bias. Who am I to say it's degenerate? Who am I, right? Who is this person? Point I'm trying to make is, yeah, you know, it's very easy selling your body, I guess. And who am I to say that they're not allowed to? I feel again the problem is the fact that we are incentivized to. It's kind of concerning, right? It's a curse. Money is a curse, but again, this curse that is money comes with blessings, like being able to buy someone a present, or like being able to go on a vacation and an adventure with your friends, your loved ones, like being able to be here right now, having afforded these devices, the internet that is powering this live stream. So yeah, let's go eco socialism. I want to do a whole live stream about that, but I need to do more research and get my stuff shorted. Hey, I see Dan here. Bless you, brother Dan, the bearded patriot himself. Melty, locks of wonderment. My locks of wonderment, bro. They're storing information. They're holding on to some stuff. Oh, all of my traumas. All of my traumas stored in my hair. I thought about cutting my hair recently. Like I really thought about it. Like I almost decided, right? Like, and that's very dangerous with me because as soon as I decide something, mm-mm, then there's no going back. But I really thought I got like right up until that point of deciding, not all of it. I'll probably just cut the sides, but it might be a different look. Would you like side cutted melt instead of all long hair headed melt? Right? All of these will go away. This stuff will go away probably. Yeah, literally. All of this will disappear. What do you friends think about that? I don't know how I feel about it, but it would make my life easier. So that's kind of like the perspective I'm taking. That's a doing it. Make sure they're wired for audio, Doc. Bless you, bro. Sam, I'm not good listening to the escapades of 60-plus-year-olds. No, please. No, please. Sam, love is true. Sorry for the berries, Mojo. May I suggest a hot tub only farms? Melt, I've been thinking about a second source of income being one of the bikini girls and kiddie pools on stream. Sounds like a plan. There we go, Joy. That one is for free. First way of generating income is for free. That's the thing with like pornography or like lewd content as well. It's like so easy to make so much money so quickly. I want melt of a mullet. Mullet melt. Melt more mullet. The mullet melt more. I don't know. I tried. It has the M. It has the M power, but I don't know if it has the if that was it takes, for the rest of it. Except I'm certain no one wants to see me in a bikini. You would be very surprised, Joy Vive. You would be shocked. Joy Vive, I would do a bikini stream, but I don't know who would watch. It's just sad dude in a bikini. I would be donating like mad if you're in a kiddie pool in a bikini. Joy Vive, what you need is the right bikini. There we go. Love is true, like people are beautiful no matter what shape you find yourself in, right? Like, there is polarity no matter, what you look like. I just don't think that's the best way to generate income. I don't, right? And it's not me trying to be like judgmental of another person or their way of paying the bills. It's not that at all, right? It's not an attack of an individual. It's more like a standard I'm setting for myself actively, where I'm like, that's always an option, right? But nay, that technically, right? If I did accept, I would have started content creation, in the industry instead of actually being a person in the world. Like before I started doing my own stuff, people were offering me gigs in the industry that I do not really would like to find myself within. Right? And I was like, oh wow, I am flattered. I am really flattered. However, nay, I understand the internet. ID, and the internet does not forget at all. And I would not like my children, if I have any one day, to be scarred, right? Like, and it's really is the fractal of like walking into like a classroom or into the chill sesh with your homies, and you see a bunch of them like laughing, and like I'm imagining my son, right, being this friend who is going to chill with his homies, and you see your homies on the couch laughing their asses off at something, and then they show my son a picture of me naked as like a 20-something-year-old, right? Like that fractal doesn't fit me. It makes me cringe to death, right? For the sake of my son, because I'm looking through his eyes right now. He's me, right? Me 2.2. Well, my dad 3.0, right? Like I literally see myself as like the next generation of my dad. Surprise, surprise. And I would like to the best for my children's one day, and yeah, I would like to spare them that level of embarrassment, if I can, at the very least. They'll probably still get embarrassed some other way. People will clip my streams, be like, "Look at how silly your dad is," and this kid will be like, "Yo, bro, I grew up living in his house. Oh, you think you can tell me anything? I know this person. He's like exponentially more batshit insane off camera. Try beef. Love again. Thank you, Sam, for sending lovin's. We have Loizana here too. Joy, it's settled. Off to bikini store. I did wear the Borat one at a frat party in college. I don't currently own it. Go ahead. You wore the boat one. Goodness. The locks are symbolic as the flowing garments. Bless you. Thank you for the lovin's, man. I saw turbulence when I closed my eyes. Mel, are you like me? Where you are like, I think I want to cut my hair, runs to bathroom, shaves whole head. Nay. Nay, I'm very much not like that. Nay. No. Like I grew up with a mom. Like there's so many fucking flies. Oh god. It's a curse. What blessings? It's biomass, right? When they die, something is eating the little fly bodies, and that's good. I take that blessing. No, I grew up with a mom who's a hairdresser, and it wouldn't fly. She wouldn't let it fly if I just suddenly shaved my head. Probably shaved my head badly. I don't think I'd survive. Chad, you best believe I won't melt with a mullet. I was sneaking squirrels in that bad boy. It's easy for dudes to make lewd content. I mean, I'm broke and lewd. How money come? I mean, I was offered a gig in. I don't even know. I don't even want to say it. You know, it was in the porn industry, but I wouldn't be making content with people I'm attracted to sexually, right? And that's not me being like, oh, the women would have been unattractive. No, it's me saying they would have been men. That was the job description, and I was like, no, no, thank you. That's fair. If I'm flattered, I am, but I'm gonna have to say no and pass. You want to come and sit? No, actually, it's too hot for you to sit on my lap, sweet dogger. It's so hot. Are you committed? You want to do that? Is that what you want to do? You want to make a decision? Yeah, decision made. I have now a heat battery on my lap. Lucky me. Bro, the older you get and the more money matters, your bar surprisingly lowers. Dude, no. Actually, my bar rises. It doesn't lower, literally. Right? Like I want to earn money in my mind by helping people. That's in my mind the only way I can justify earning money and feel okay about it. Right? Because there's a bunch of ways to make money by exploiting people. There's a bunch of ways of making money by stealing from people. There's a bunch of ways to make money by convincing people you have something that they don't, right? And you can make a lot of money really quickly that way. However, having considered all of my options, that's not the life I want to live, right? Because even if I make money that way, every single time I spend that money, I'm going to hate myself for it. Like I hate these flies landing on my flesh. Stop. I need to calm down. Love is true. Clickety clickety. Fun fact about children: you will scar them one way or another. Might be true. You like this scarf? I did too, actually. Like, what a cool shot that is, right? Yeah. Let me show you this. Like, this is my water bottle. Can you see the amount of freaking flies just chilling on that water bottle? I wish I could just tell them to leave and they would listen. But like, please, please, little Mr. and Mrs. Flies, can you leave with me? What? What? Hmm? Hey, sweetie, sweetie. Okay. Peppy kisses. Yeah. She's uncomfortably warm on my lap right now. I don't know how she's handling it. Yeah, c'est la vie, right? Such be life. I need to savor these moments while I still have them. Dad has kind of communicated that he is okay if I wanted to take Pippi with me. But again, uh, I don't know if I can handle the responsibility. Not only from the perspective of having to feed her, I think I can handle that. It's gonna be like an extra grand or something a month, which is not that hard to swing. I mean, it's gonna mean I'll eat less, but I'll make sure she has food. On the other side, though, the cleaning poop, because the whole estate is kind of bricked over, right? There is no grass. There is technically like those little hills with the rocks and grass growing on it, but Pippi is not going to do parkour to find a place to poop. That I know, because I know Pippi. I know little Pippi's heart. If it rained outside, she'll shit in the house because she doesn't want to get her feet wet. Like that's how she is, right? And I get it. I get it. If I was a little doggo and I had little fluffy feetsers, right, and it was cold outside, I probably wouldn't want to step in that either to go and poop, right? So I can't blame her, but however, when I live with other people, multiple other people, right, and it's not their dog, so they don't have that same level of connection and love for this animal that I do, and then these experiences of her pooping on the floors or pooping on the driveway, and then me cleaning it every day is like my responsibility, the thing I would have to do. And if I don't do that, then it would just hurt my relationship with these people that I'm living with, right? So it's just, it's like a whole can of worms that I would open if I brought her with me. I have been thinking about it though. Can dogs be litter box trained? I mean, they can be trained to poop on a certain spot, right? Like you can put down like a tarp or something and be like clickety, poopity here or whatever. I don't know how many times you'll have to do it, but you can technically train your dogs to poop on a certain spot or a certain square. However, again, I don't really know if I want to do any of that. Like I've realized that I don't really consider myself lazy as much as I consider myself limited, right? Like there's only so much time for me, and there's only so much I can do in this physical form. And if I'm going to have only so much time and I only have so much capacity to do physical things, then I would like to not be doing the physical thing that is picking up poop. At least not in the short term, right? Mm. Mhm. 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 If they show my daughter a sussy photo and they make fun of her, and she can point to our nice home and say, "Is your dad's bod so lit it bought a house?" Like again, a child doesn't care about that stuff, bro. A child doesn't care about buying houses. A child cares about what people think about them and what people think about their dad, right? Like I don't know if you were a child at one point. But as children, we like to embellish, how cool our dads is or how cool our mom is, how loving we, you know, see our mom. Like we like to embellish, like lift our parents up, as children, as like young children, and like as that young child with that lens, having that lens of my child looking at me, I don't want that lens to be ripped away from him by my own, stupid decisions, or maybe not stupid even, but inconsiderate inconsiderate decisions. Oh my goodness, my mom was a hairdresser too. She was a stylist for JC Penney. Bless you. What a trip, dude. So you also got your hair cut by mom your whole life, man. It is something special. I grew up with a mom who was a hairdresser, ducked that as well, of course. I guess shaving my head was rebellion. 100%, dude. Like 100%. Grandma was a hairdresser. She had a fit when my mom asked her to stop cutting bangs into my hair. Did you like the bangs, Sam? Did your grandma like the bangs? Did the grandma like you in bangs? You know, no other hairstyle but bangs for you. Bear did. My mom did a small while at JCPenney, but then a local salon. Bless. Agree with our scar to scar our kids, but luckily we all grow up equipped to heal our scars. Yeah, and like scar tissue is stronger, you know, relatively speaking, than normal tissue. So like it depends on what kind of scarring, right? Like the scarring I experienced in my family is like abandonment and feeling unseen and unappreciated and unloved. So that curse has led to the blessing that is me being who I am right now, right? So now because I was lacking, at least in my mind, in my perspective, love and acceptance and being seen in my immediate environment, right? Now I'm trying to provide that to the world because that is what I need. So our curses become our blessings after all. Most men who do man porn are straight and only do it for the money, and good on you for turning it down, but not feeding into the degeneracy. Yeah. Like that's the thing as well, right? Like up until that point, it was so absurd because they offered me something like $10,000. It was something like that, like $10,000 a shoot or something like that, you know? And like up until that time in my life, like up until now, still, I have never earned $10,000 in a year, right? I'm still like at like five if I'm lucky, right? So if I can earn 10 a year, that is like insane for me. I would be very happy with that, you know, at least in the short term. I would be happy if by the end of this year we can hit 10K. You know, that would be great. And then to be offered that for like a day's worth of work, I don't know if it's a day's worth of work or how that works, but to be offered that, you know, so nilly-willy, like the level of effort. And like that's the point I was trying to make to you, Duck Dad. If my standards for, you know, making money was lower, like what I am willing to do in order to get the money. Like I've literally moved countries. I went to China to teach English to get money, right? Because again, in my mind, I could justify that because I was helping children learn English. So I wasn't doing something evil or I wasn't doing something exploitative. I wasn't hurting anybody. I wasn't degrading myself or another person, right? Like there was only me trying to uplift the collective human soul, the human psyche. And yeah, I got exploited in China, you know, for wanting to do that as well. Like people made me work and didn't pay me for 6 months, a little bit more than 6 months, right? So I'm technically out, you know, a bunch of cash there as well. So it's a weird fractal of like, you know, the person that we are and the amount we're willing to give. People also will notice that about you and will sometimes try and take advantage of it. It is hard trying to navigate life sometimes. That's Scarface Fire. Bless you again. It's from a friend called PJ, I believe. I haven't seen him since the RPAN days, but I have a scarf. That's nice. Right? It's been a part of so many flowers. Man, if someone wants a service and you provide that to them, I do believe you are helping them. Yeah, bro. Tell that to hitmen, Duck Dad. I'm sure they're gonna love that kind of logic. People want the service of murdering someone else. And I am being such a good person by providing, you know, them this service. You know, I'm helping them. I'm helping them so much. Strangles person. I'm helping them. I'm not strangling this person. I'm helping someone right now. No, no, no. It's not that easy. Who bed is Pippi gonna sleep next to when you leave? She has a bed in literally every room. She has a bed in my mom's room. She has a bed in my sister's room. She has a bed in my office, and she has a bed in my room. You know, so she's gonna be so fine at least. Like she has the other dogs as well. You know, like she needs other dogs. Pippi loves playing with Eva. Like unless I'm taking all of the dogs, you know, it's not going to work as well, and that's even more poop to deal with. Right now, I'm 70% closer to shaving my head before work. Peppy kisses. Why the flies are so sticky? Flies in California don't do that. Like, like fly onto you. I mean, I've been pretty much fly free for a while now, at least. I don't know. Maybe they just like the way I taste. Maybe I taste real good, and like after they had a bite, they want to keep coming back for more. I've been popping down in and out the last few days. Same today. Big old drive-by Lovins. Bless you, Joe. I want to know this too. Dogs started to be our friends because they realized they could eat our scraps instead of hunting and risking themselves. They became docile, and humans trusted them. And the dogs trusted the humans, right? Like when the dogs had babies, the humans were proactive in taking care of them and protecting them as well, right? Establishing that kind of like, oh, these entities want to take care of my young, you know, like that's also another level of trust that's very hard to kind of like create without that level of intention. Bruh, please do not land on my body, please. They become cute because we found it endearing, literally. And we were like, yeah, you're cute, so I'm gonna keep you around. And then that one made cute babies. And then we were like, oh, these ones are cute. We're gonna keep these ones around. And then those ones made cute babies. And we're like, oh, this one is cute. I'm like, so much endear. So much endear. I'm just imagining like our original dogs being like these rough ass looking wolves, you know, just like rugged, like like the Giga Chad handsome, you know, of wolves, every single one of them. And then we made them cute. We have to go back. Melty, thank you, brother. Thank you. Always, Joshua. I had cut I had my hair cut into a pixie cut once because my ex-mom's claimed to be a hairdresser. This is dramatic. But I went home afterwards and punched a wall. She cut off 2 feet of hair, 60 centimeters. I don't even have, like, I have like maybe a foot of hair right now, right? Like maybe a foot. It might be less than a foot even. And I've been growing on this stuff for like the last 5 years, technically. It keeps shattering, you know, at the edges, but that's also to be expected. Like at least 5 years worth of growth, just chippity choppity. For what it's worth, Joe, I would have probably liked you in a pixie cut, you know. So maybe we can like see that blessing in the curse that is having 2 feet of hair cut off. I would have still complimented you and told you you look nice. Oh, the blessing was that I learned when to cut my own hair. Yeah, there's the blessing again. You know, double blessings for you. 2 feet of hair is assault. Did she discuss with you what she was doing? She just kept messing up the layers and kept going shorter. Turns out she failed to mention that she only cuts men hair. Yeah, men hair is easy. Men hair, you put between, you like comb it up into a layer, you put it between your fingers and you cut it. And then you keep doing that until it's uniform. Women's hair are different, my China. Like, how is that? I'm almost getting secondhand angry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Joe. So, if you had love and acceptance from your family at the age that you were most critical speaking of, would you have felt upset about your dad doing some lewdness? Maybe the secret is caring for your kid. It's not about being upset, bro. It's about the way we see one another, right? Like when I imagine my son looking at me, I want him to see a strong, capable, compassionate, kind, loving, caring, considerate, intentional, wise, empathetic, understanding, endearing, curious dad, right? Like those are the type of elements I want him to see me through, right? And like him seeing me like in part of the lens of like, oh, my dad at one point, at the very least, was like selling himself because that's what he needed to do, right? One part of me, like, is and not even it's not even about the nudity, right? Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with nudity. Like, we all have the same equipment kind of vibe, right? Like, once you've seen a pair of breasts and genitalia, you're not really going to be that shocked seeing more of them. It's not going to be surprising kind of vibe. So it's not about that for me. It's more for me about like the lens, right? Like, what does he think about me in that moment? Does he think about my past? Does he think about my decision making? Does he think about my suffering? Does he feel bad for me, that I had to make decisions like that? uh, does he wonder when I change? Does he wonder if I still do it? Like, I just don't. I want to spare him all of that mental baggage. Are we talking about the 8 foot long, 45 kilogram millipedes again? Love is true. Oh, Joe. So I'm so sorry that I had the same hairdresser for over a decade because of exactly that. You can't let anyone in your hair. She was probably jealous of your length. You only grow 6 inches of hair a year. 6 inches is 2.5, right? Is like half a foot. So you do like half a foot a year? That sounds about right. Maybe a foot max if you're a fast grower. Mm-hmm. Your hair failed. Duck. No matter what kind of relationship I have with my parents, if I found out one of them was doing prawn, I would need therapy. Yes. Like, it's all of those thinkings, right? It's all of that mental, like that's the therapy you'll need, right? Like, I don't want my kids to need therapy after getting scarred by their friends, right? And like, I feel like my friends, my kids at that point will also understand the difference between like deep faked content, right? And I also would like to believe that my kids' friends won't be absolute fucking degenerates. I hope. Like, I also, like, it's not like I can, be critical of my kid's friends because that's like being critical of him, right? Oh goodness. Mercy, please. May having children be a blessing, and may the curse only be embarrassing them. Please. Oh, please. I'm sorry, Melty, but you're still a kid to me. Yeah, I'm still a kid to myself, dude. Having the responsibility over a family means I will do literally anything to provide for them. I don't close doors based on societal perception. Like, I don't care about society's perception either. Oh, I care about my own offspring's perception, right? Melanie's perception of you as her dad. Her dad. She only has one dad, Duck Dad. Your kid only has one dad, and it's you. All right. So you kind of have to stand up as that version of yourself, right? Because you're giving her an example. Would you want Melanie to know you're doing prawn? All right. Would you like to encourage her to do the same? Is that the life you would aspire for her to have one day? Right. That's the kind of fractal. Like, it's every action leads to, kind of like making things okay or not. Right. Like, I imagine my kids watching me one day and seeing me maybe and I'm very self-conscious about that, seeing me smoke weed. Right. And what are they going to think about that? The extended fractal of them being with me in the garden while I'm tending to plants, while I'm telling them about different methods of taking care of things, while I'm telling them about the microorganisms and the microfungal networks that live underneath the soil, right? And then to show them and to give them this perspective of the world, this deep insight into how beautiful this experience is, and then for them to see me, smoking on this bud and have an experience, have a conversation with them, right? Like in my mind, I kind of like can make peace with that, right? Like instead of them seeing me drink, I would rather have them seeing me do something like that. And it's that level of awareness, right, of consideration of their little consciousnesses cutting into this reality, right? Me being the world for them in large part, right? And if we are going to see God in this world, I have to play the role in their lives of being that version of self. So yeah, it's something I take very seriously, and it's not something I'm willing to compromise on, even if we have to, steal food in order to feed my kids. Right? There's no way that I'll compromise. I'm not going to degrade myself. Mhm. Mm, Pornography. If the need arises, I feed my family. End of story. Yeah, bro. There are a bunch of other ways to feed your family before before that, right? Like a bunch of other ways. Like I don't really. I think I get what you're saying. You're making a point, but I feel like because of the context of the point you're making, it falls short in my mind because I don't really think you actually considered the implications of what I'm saying, right? Like you would literally hate yourself forever, Doug Dad, from that moment on forward. You would be less capable as a man to provide for your family from that moment on forward. That's the way I see it. Like you would literally, like that's what degrading yourself means. You're making yourself less. You to yourself, right? Like it's like, oh yes, these numbers, is worth more than my own self image, worth more than my family's image of me, worth more than society's image of me, worth more, right? Like, it's tripping me out just thinking about it, man. Like, I get what you're saying, needing to take care of your family, but I don't think you get what you're saying with, like, what we are talking about. No, I was so confused with the corn thing. I needed to read it out loud, and now it's comically burned into my vocab. Is it any more exploitative than I have to go out in minus 10 degrees Celsius right now and work on a hot tub with wet hands? Uh, I mean, again, in the one fractal, you have to do nothing technically, right? Like there's no like personal value. Maybe you get better at hip thrusting or whatever, right? But that's not exactly life skills, right? Like if you're not putting your hip thrusting ability on your freaking CV and giving that to your potential employer, they don't care about that shit, right? It's not indicative of your value as a person. However, being able to fix things with your hands is, right? Like you are providing something to someone, fixing their thing, and they are providing you with the capital to fix their thing. But after that, you will both get the satisfaction of having fixed the thing, the satisfaction of getting paid, and you keep the skills of having fixed that thing and now having seen the lens through which you have to fix that thing, right? Like there's so much value onto your person. So yeah, there's a clear difference. There's an infinite difference, right? Like orders of magnitude. Each one is an order of magnitude of more value you gain. So yeah, I do believe it's a little bit more exploitative because the other thing, like once you've done that, once you've been captured in that way, that's it, right? Like media, at least in the digital age, doesn't degrade, right? Like that's now, I don't know, bro. Like maybe I mean, like I'm a picture person, right? So like I can see the imagery of what you are suggesting, and I don't think you realize just how degenerate that is, bro. Like money is worth nothing. Money is worth nothing in comparison. Your social media sites can shadow ban or outright ban, or suppress them on the algorithm, so they use cron. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Helping someone is not disingenuous as it gets. Yeah, bro, I know. I'm trying to make a point in extremes, you know? Like it is a point in extremes. Like when you're going to that kind of extreme, you know, like there's a certain part of yourself that gets lost along the way. And it's not good for your soul, dude. Like those people are not happy, unfortunately. And like if you look at the porn industry at large, by being in that industry, by getting paid any of that money, you are contributing to so much exploitation, so much rape, so much, you know, people being raped and then being filmed and that information getting onto the internet and then, you know, those companies making money off of that content, right? And then that money is the money you'll get paid in to make more of that content. Like it's a fractal again, like I can't believe that your standard could fall that low, brother. But I think too much of you, I guess, Doctor. I'm sorry. No, 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 no. They is content creators. This is true. Some dogs evolve to be cute, and they're solely, and that's solely what's keeping them alive. His name is Noodle. That is Jovan's little doggo's name. Mojo saying, Melt, makes sense not to bring Pippi, but we need some kind of animal on stream after the move. Turtle maybe? Snake? I wanted to actually keep a snake, Mojo. Like there was a fractal where I kept snake, you know. Maybe if I can find myself an egg eater, you know, for purchase, like a big a big egg eater. If it's already big enough to eat chicken eggs, then I could justify it, right? Because then it's like low maintenance. I don't have to go and buy rats in a box and then feed those rats to my snake, right? I guess it's also a part of the process, but like putting an egg, like, and I've had an egg eater before, just putting an egg in its little container and then seeing it all blown up after eating it, right? Like it's super wholesome. So maybe Mojo, we'll see. Like I feel like we're going to see maybe more plants on the second channel at least, you know, more than anything. Maybe it'll be like some wild animals that tune in. Jobad, my ex's mom was jealous of you. Your ex's mom was jealous of you and wanted to make you less pretty, so her kid would lose attention to you. That's my theory. People are weird, yo. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's the kind of shit that some people would actually do. Like I've heard that there's like a whole kind of like weird subset of people that have almost like too close of a relationship with their moms. You know, their moms are almost like weird. Like they expect the child to like treat them like they would, you know, a partner, and how much they're supposed to tell them and the permissions they're supposed to ask to do certain things. And yeah, on the other side, me and my mom have like a very cold relationship with one another, right? Where like the most affection would be like a hug for like a second, you know. I don't like being touched, and my mom is a touchy person. And unfortunately, if you as a child keep squirming, you know, when somebody touches you, they're gonna stop touching you or stop wanting to touch you or trying to touch you or whatever, right? So I guess it is in part, you know, my fault. It's my curse to not like being touched, and now I get to experience the blessing of not being touched, right? Unfortunately, my mom also has like a weird way of like laying hands on me, you know, like when I was like a teenager especially, she would like put her arm around my back and then put her hands on my love handles, right? Like this part. And I fucking hate that so much. It makes me and it still makes me feel insecure, but now I just don't let myself be insecure, right? But as a teenager, as soon as I would feel somebody like touch that part of my body, I would be aware that that part of my body is overweight, and then I would, like shrivel up and cringe, and I would like get angry at my mom for touching me on my love handles. What a freaking trip. How did we get here? How did we actually get here? The whole mom's relationships thing? Yeah. Yeah, at least my mom, not from what I've experienced, have any jealousy towards my partners. Not that I've had many, so I don't really have a gauge to actually tell. But not from what I've experienced, not what I've like immediately seen at least. Agreed, Mojo. In stream. Agreed, Mojo. Animal in stream is so nice. It is fun. I do agree. 45 kilogram millipede. Yikes. Yeah, I would like that, Mojo. I would approve. Mel's little. I'm happy that it stuck. That'll be, our inside joke now. I'm with Duck Dad. I see it as no different from working in a coal mine. I work for the better. Thanks, Kristen. Ich now your poodle. It's true. So all of those traits that you said, you hope your son sees you. None of those traits exist in those who do a different profession outside of what you're comfortable with. Not very open-minded. No, it's not what I. You're doing the exact same my dad does, brah. Like I say one thing, and then you're like, oh, so you're saying this other thing. No, no, I didn't say that. None of those traits exist in those who do a different profession outside of what you're comfortable with. Didn't say that at all, right? Not even remotely. I mentioned that that's the way I want my son to see me, right? Like that is the lens through which I want him to look at me at. And you can have that lens through all of the professions, right? Maybe you happen to be able to hide your work life as a porn star from your children, right? And they can see all of those things in you as well. But as soon as the information is introduced into their consciousness that that is a part of your life, it is going to change things. That is all I'm saying, Duck Dad. I'm not saying they're going to be less than. I'm not saying there's going to be hate. Like love is going to cease being true. Like their children is going to cease loving them, and they're going to cease loving their children. And that's not what I said either. What I'm saying is it changes things, and that is not a change I am comfortable with. That is not a change I am willing to accept. I'm not willing to compromise and accept those changes. That's all I said, right? Like all of us get to make our, like when we're like literally hypothesizing, right? Like we're making a what if situation and creating tension amongst ourselves because of it. Yeah, c'est la vie. I found my parents don't open drawer when I was a teenager. My friends found it too. Honestly, I never even judged my parents, not for a second. Bro, like your parents having a sex life, again, it's not about the sex. It's not about the nudity. It's not about that. It's not about that, bro. That's not the awkward part. It is the implication, right? It is the stranger on the video with you. It is the why you did that. It is the how did you get there. It is the what decisions did you make leading up to that moment. Right? It's all of that stuff. Like I feel like this is so simple. Why are we arguing about this? You know, like this feels like a very big no-brainer. You know, like it's very simple to me. If you posted that tank top thirst trap, that's definitely a demographic that would be throwing money at you. Love is true. Thank you, Joy, for reminding her. There is plenty I need therapy for, but my parents' sexuality was never one of them. Yeah, dude, it's not about the sexuality. It's not about that, right? Like, there's a lot more sex happening in the world than there is sex happening plus a camera crew, right? Like, you do realize that. Like maybe it's just me and the way I see the world, right? Like I cannot just see the thing. I have to see all of the implications. I have to see all of the lives that is being influenced. I have to see the future lives. I have to literally think about the future children I will have and how my current decisions are influencing their lives. I cannot not see the world like that, right? Like it ceaselessly happens to me for every single decision I make, and it can be a little bit heavy sometimes. But that's unfortunately just the reality of the case. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even want to think about this stuff anymore. I want to kind of move on from it. Mhm, mhm. I'll read. Mhm. Yes, I am, Doc Dad. I am definitely a conservative dude, for the most part, at least. And one day, I barely make that in a year. I would rather not have to steal food. I would much rather have steal food 9 times out of 10. Or I would go to a soup kitchen, or I would go to a restaurant and ask for scraps, or I would, dumpster dive behind convenience stores. But there are some things I am unwilling to do, right? And that is me for my life. And it is good. Dollars is worth nothing. Currently being denied a test to see if I have cancer. Only way to get to pay it is $10,000. So money is worth life. Yeah, bro. Don't you think that's wrong? Like that's not the way it's supposed to be. Examples and extremes lack nuance, and life without nuance is hyperbole. I know, bro. The point I'm trying to make is you mentioned that as long as you're doing a service for someone, in your mind it's good, right? And I was just illuminating that that kind of thinking could lead to hitman also justifying what they do. Just drawing lines, right? So we can see that yes, these things are true. Today's whole stream topic, right, is about the blessings that come with a curse. So one of the curses of me as Meltmore is the fact that I do have to paint things in extremes so that I can find the nuance myself in the inside, right? Realize that I'm the one sitting at the center of these implications, and yeah, if I don't push the edges of the extremes, then I don't know where I'm supposed to be standing in the midst of it. So that is kind of like the blessing that comes with the curse of me thinking that way, unfortunately. When you pay taxes, you are helping Russia, genocide, Ukraine. So how deep do you want to go where your money goes? I mean, like, why are you angry, dude? Why are you angry about this, Doctor? Is it me saying I'm unwilling to do stuff like that? And you would have been willing to do it if you had that exact opportunity in this moment, right? And again, like maybe in a moment you would be willing to, right? But again, that money is going to get spent. Pepe, what doen jij, Wouter? That money is going to get spent, bro. I'm okay with dying as well, Duck Dad, right? Like I'll lose nothing. You friends will lose something, right? But soul doesn't lose something with the death of this body. It continues, right? There is no loss. There is no loss in my mind. However, as soul, as that version of me that is the observer, I will choose to observe the things that lift me up, that make me feel like I'm a good person, make me feel like I'm a good father, makes me feel like I'm a good partner, makes me feel like I'm, a person worthy of actually earning, my stay in this world. Pippi is making me lose my mind a little bit. Yeah, she's definitely staying here. Like just stuff like that as well, like it suddenly creates like an abrasive force inside of my psyche that starts shredding things. When you've never felt the bottom. Doc Dad, I have literally gone weeks without eating because I didn't have any more money in my account, bruh. Like how much further am I supposed to go down than that? Sure, I had a place to sleep in, not having food to eat. But having gone like the longest I've gone is 2 weeks. The longest I've gone not having money is a week, right? Of not being able to eat food, and I'm okay with fasting. That's the thing as well. Like I'm comfortable with not eating for a week at a time. So I don't know if it's necessarily a one to one, but being in that position, I was thinking about, right, not pornography, but more, criminality even, of like making money. And yet, if I ended up going through with all of that stuff, I would think so much less of myself right now than I get to, because I've tried, and I'm not perfect, but I've tried to make decisions for the good of both myself, of my soul, of my future self, and of the people I'm going to live with, right? My children, my beloved. Hey, Zano. It's nice having you here, friend. Sending you blessings. Mm. I'm going to make 125 bucks today cash. It's not a drop in the bucket towards anything meaningful, but it's going to waste a day of my life away from my child just the same. Yeah, Duck Dad. I guess you can see it that way, bro. If you want to, that is your choice as well. Like I get it, man. The joke is as well, like you would, if you could earn that much every day, you would earn in 4 days what I earn in a month right now, right? Like you have opportunities like that. You have the opportunity to today earn $125. I do not have that opportunity, and there are a bunch of people who do not have the opportunity in my country. 50 plus. I think the latest statistic is something like 58%. But let's say just 50, half, right? 50% of people under the age of 30 do not have any employment, right? It's a third of our entire country that do not have employment. So 1 in 3 people have zero income, zero. And then we have what we call minimum wage in South Africa as well. And where you friends have like the national minimum wage of like $7.25, right? That is our day wage. That is our minimum day wage. $7.25 is what a person can hope to expect in a whole day of work. Right? Like again, bro, I don't know why we're going down this fractal. But like there's a bunch of people that have it really rough here in South Africa. And even those people aren't willing to, degrade themselves. Like our people here in South Africa are struggling, man. But we're proud, and we're kind, and we're trying to take care of one another in our society and our mini communities. And there is, forces actually moving to try and uplift one another. But that's not the way to, bro. Exploiting ourselves, like that's the thing, bro. Like if we're going to extend these things into the extremes, like we can either find ourselves in the long-term society where every single person is expected to have an OnlyFans, right? Oh yeah, you want to be a part of society? You better be taking photos of your nude body so that all of us can see you, right? Because you want to earn money and have food, right? So do this because that's expected of you, right? For me, I believe the evil comes in with having a system that kind of exploits people like that. And then my point is, I will not let the system exploit me like that. And now you friends are fighting me on taking that stance. Like, I don't understand. Like, am I really that naive? Am I really that ignorant, according to your friends' perspective? All ideals are high ideals when you are at the bottom. Yeah. Exactly. Everything is beautiful when you're always looking up. It can only get better. This is a very good perspective. Poor folks are some of the happiest people you'll ever meet. Yes. Yes. And yes again. Exactly. Brother Joshua. And now my latch on my truck is broken, so I can't access any of my tools. I need to work today, so I can just like that, $0 for the day. Yeah, Doc Dad. More than half of people under the age of 30 is gonna earn $0 today as well, dude. And $0 tomorrow, and $0 for the next week, and then $0 for the next month, and then $0 for the next year, because there's no way to earn any dollars for half of them, right? So I get it, bro. I get it's hard. I get it. But we need to really bring ourselves back and have some perspective, man. Like it's unfortunate, but that's the only way for us to find happiness, is to be grateful for where we are right now, for realizing that our decisions in part has brought us into this moment, and that there is hope for our path going forward, but only if we believe that, right? Like, you can only have hope if you believe in hope. Otherwise, you'll have none of it. And you'll believe that it's just like a grind, you know. And like, I don't know what's going on right now, Doc Dad, but I can feel your heart is heavy, dude. Everything becomes a blessing when you don't live. Everything becomes a blessing when you don't live in abundance. Yeah. A man who has everything worries about his last meal. A man who has nothing worries about his next meal. Like, I'm trying to think, I think I heard one like that as well. A man who has everything worries about his last meal. Trying to see if I find myself somewhere in the middle right now. Jovan got that grip and that fire, of course, always. Reading through comments, stuck on helping someone, Jack. Yeah, I'm sorry as well, Shell. Like, that's what I've been fighting against. And like, I feel like I'm the insane one for wanting to not, right? It's not about the bunny. It's not about the bunny. Is it about the bunny? I think it's about the bunny. I bet you knew who provided that doozy. I'm off to wash my hair. Be good. Love you, Sam. Thank you. Have a good wash. Bless you. So much love. Mm, the shirt is awesome. I think we all just really gonna have to agree to disagree. That's what I'm trying to do as well at this point. Bless you. Thank you, Lozana. Yeah. Again, like, my mind, I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like that same energy with my dad as well sometimes. Where like, as soon as you decide to become a dad, you know, like, it's a level of responsibility that I can't really understand. So understand that, please, Doc Dad. Like, you can't expect me to understand things the way you do, right? And you getting angry at me for not understanding is a little bit, you know, unfair as well. All the time adding extra water to your milk to make it look like milk. Do you want me to know that, Doc Dad? Do you want that for us? What point are we making right now, bro? Like, I keep, like, over and over making it very clear that I don't agree with things as it is right now. There's more than enough food to feed all the people in the world as it is right now. All right? Like, I'm on your side, Doc Dad. And saying something like, you know, you will never know the sorrow, like the look of your parents when you're adding extra water to your milk to make it look like milk. Like, why would you want anybody to know that? Why? You know, why? Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, I feel like that's, you know, one of the fundamental evil parts of our capitalist society. And it's exploiting us, right? It's actively exploiting us. It's actively making our currency worth less and less, while making things more and more expensive. And during this whole exploitation, this literally, getting getting raped, right? You're like, oh yes, let me consent to the grape instead. That's better. Is it? No, I don't think so. I would rather not, right? I would rather rip the fucking eyes out of the person that tries to take advantage of me. I'm sorry. But that's my personality. Oh, I'm gonna go to jail for ripping a person's eyes out? Free food, bro. Sign me up, man. Because I'm going to enjoy life literally even if I starve to death. Like I will not stop finding the beauty in my experience. You won't be able to take it away from me. People have tried. People have tried. I've literally sat down with people, and shared my worldview with them, and then they've like trauma dumped and trauma dumped and trauma dumped, and I listen to them, and I listen to these abuses they've experienced, and these traumas that they've went through, and these ways that people have exploited them and hurt them and taken advantage of them, and it didn't change my view of the world. It gave me insight, it gave me perspective on what certain people are capable of. But it doesn't change the fact that this world exists for love, right? And anything that falls short of that love for myself, for my world, for my future family is not something that I am going to compromise on, no matter how much money you offer me. Since you're doing labor outdoors, you may be interested in telecommunications. If you want more regular, bless, shall, thank you for offering. Money is a virus that passes from hand to hand. The Scratch Perry, yeah. Money's biggest lie that it sold all of us is the illusion that it gives us freedom. Money does not give you freedom. If you want to be free, become a homeless person. And I've thought about it. A part of me still wants to spend a year as a homeless person and film that for you friends. Just to make a point. To be like, oh yeah, you think you need stuff? You think you need stuff to be happy? Watch me. I'll have my tripod on my cell phone. I'll leave my microphones even. I'll steal Starbucks Wi-Fi or something. I'll be a homeless person. I'll do live streams. And I'm going to show up every single day with a smile on my face, with hope, with a stream topic, with an intention to share the good. Not because it's easy, but because it is hard. It is the hardest thing that you can do. And yet, it's the one thing that I feel I struggle with, right? So that's the thing I'm going to have to get better at. Shell, I can do a full-time work until Duckling goes full-time school next year. I can only do gig work until then. Is your wife working, Duck Dad? I don't know if we've talked about that, Brother Bear. Doug, I don't like that you are feeling the way today, brother. It's a daily constant struggle, and you have a very heavy burden on your survival strain. It's a big task, and you're doing fine. Thank you, Joe Smo, for reminding Duck Dad as well. Got this new phone, and that's 2 different shades of blue hearts. That's true. Nice. So much emojis in chat. I'm seeing them. More accurate color for your heart. Just another day, man. You know how to crawl out of this moment. I have total faith in you. Is it rough? I had my mind totally squashed by realizing the spectrum of sexuality and orientation. Some people don't have any desire for romance or sentiment, and that sort of intimacy just isn't a thing for them. Like, they don't feel that emotion, they don't make that connection. And so it is weird for me to expect them to understand why I hold value to it, painting with colors they can't see. So beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Yeah. Like all of us have different ways of seeing the world, right? And as you said, bro, I definitely would be considered conservative. Hey, Google, define conservative. Adverse to change or innovation and holding traditional values. I love change. Change is something that I definitely appreciate. Innovation as well. I'm in love with technology. So I don't really think that's too accurate. However, holding traditional values, it depends on what you consider traditional values. You would have to give me a list for me to check off on. Secondly, in a political context, is favoring free enterprise, private ownership, and traditionally and socially traditional ideas. Uh, I do favor free enterprise. I, however, don't really endorse that much private ownership, right? At least not to the point of, right, removing the means of production from the people. The third one is purposely low for the sake of caution, an estimate. It's a conservative estimate, so purposely low of surgery or medical treatment is intended to control rather than eliminate the condition while existing tissue preserves as far as possible. A person who's adverse to change, I'm not adverse to change, right? If my conservatism is interpreted as such, with me not wanting our society to become an OnlyFans society, right? Where my mom and my sister are OnlyFans models, and all of my sister's friends are OnlyFans models. And when they come over to my sister's place, they're making OnlyFans content in their room. And like that's just not the world I want to live in. Call me conservative if you want to, but bruh, that just feels so flippin' slimy and yeah, fuck, dude, shit. Right? Like, just think about the amount of human connection that will be lost, right? Like, because you won't be able to just look at the person. Like, you'll always be in some way or another mind fucking yourself or that person. Like, please, bro. Like, if that is, am I conservative to not want that? Really? Like shit, maybe we need to be more conservative in that case. Duck Dad. Duck Heart is feeling blue today. Let's give him some loving energy. Thank you, Joy. Pride is stupid. Agreed, bro. I wasn't being prideful. It wasn't pride, man. It's standards, right? Hey, Google, define pride. Let's see. Let's see. A feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction from one's achievements. The achievement of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. So, right off the bat, apparently pride isn't stupid, right? Like being prideful when it comes to like, people, like trying to like uplift yourself and be like, yeah, I'm so fucking great and you're so cack. That, I think is stupid. Absolutely. But again, having a deep feeling of pleasure and satisfaction derived from my own achievements, I don't think that's stupid. Having, that same feeling for those I'm closely associated with, like, I'm proud of you, Duck Dad, for literally starting a farm, selling plants, like contributing that value into the world. I'm proud of you for that, right? So I don't think that pride is stupid. Or the qualities of possessions that are widely admired. You have qualities of a hardworking man, which is something I'm proud of as well, which is something I hope you have pride in, something I've seen you have pride in, right? So again, it's not stupid. Consciousness of one's own dignity. Yeah, maybe that pride is stupid as well, right? Because that is exactly what we were talking about. I was very conscious of my own dignity within this whole conversation. Confidence and self respect as expressed by members of a group, typically one that has been socially marginalized on the basis of their shared identity, culture, or experience. So pride, as in, gay pride. The best state of something is the prime, the pride of your youth, the best state of something, or a group of lions forming a social unit. Yeah, bro. For the most part, pride doesn't seem that stupid to me. I get pride is apparently a sin biblically as well, but again, I think the Bible was meant to control people, not to help people. I've almost this exact same thing and removed it. I'm feeling you on that one. You want to sit on my lap? What's up? There you go. Oh man, her feetsies are so dirty. I know, so am I. No one. Dear little brother, I'm so proud of you for taking care of your family. Bless. Keeping it. Love is true. If it makes sense, like people use tools, people misuse them. There's a lot that goes into it. I don't think there's necessarily an absolute plant blueberries everywhere. Yes, the blue world order. Plant blueberries everywhere, please. Plant blueberries everywhere. I'm not angry at your lack of understanding. I'm angry and some of the incredibly harsh and ridiculous things you are saying about things you don't know of. The vast difference between intimacy and sexuality cannot really be explored through casual texts. The world has a lack of intimacy and an abundance of animalistic sexual behavior. Oh, I'm reading it like it's both of them are Duck Dad's messages. Sorry. They I'm angry at the incredibly harsh and ridiculous things you are saying about things you don't know of. I don't need you. I don't need you or care if you understand. But saying shit like your kid will think you are a shitbag. I didn't say that. I literally did not say that, Duck Dad. My kid is going to think I'm a shitbag. I didn't say those words, right? My dad did the exact same thing to me. Doug Dad, you're pissing me off a little bit right now, dude. Literally today, we were having a conversation about putting poison on Pippi's skin, like flea poison. And my dad mentioned to me that he has like cattle poison that is so strong, it will like pull into her skin for 2 weeks and kill the fleas for 2 weeks on her skin. And I was like, I don't think that's good for her. And then my dad goes, oh, so you think you know more than all the scientists in the world who have been formulating these poisons for animals? I'm like, no, I didn't fucking say that. I said, I don't think that's good for her. I said, I don't think that's going to be good for your kids. And then you go, oh, my kid is going to think I'm a shitbag, bro. Don't do that. Like, if you want to quote me, you literally have live streamed footage. You can literally cut, with like the clipping tool, the exact phrases I said. And you can send me links for it and I'll be able to watch it back. Right? If I was saying, in your words, incredibly harsh and ridiculous things, right? Please clip me and send it back to me and I'll reflect on it. But I don't believe I did say any, like your kid is gonna think you're a shitbag or whatever you're saying is tone deaf. Like you're doing the exact same thing, Duck Dad, bro. Maybe it's some dad energy. Maybe that's a part of the fractal. Nobody said that, dude. Thank you, Joshmo. At least Joshmo is willing to. Yeah, I might have missed it. No, you didn't, bro. I never said that. And you're putting me in quotation marks. You're literally putting me in quotes, misquoting me in deliberately, just like my dad does as well. And then we fucking fight each other, Duck Dad. And like, I'm really urging you with your relationship with your little one, bro. Do not do that. That is the best way to instantly ruin relationships because I didn't say that, right? And you saying that I said that is one, a lie, and it's the meaning of my character, and it's the meaning of yours. Because why are you saying that, right? Like we literally have live stream footage, Like I'm getting so fucking riled up right now. The blessing and the curse, right? The blessing of getting love from you friends and the curse of being misinterpreted, right? And then misquoted, I guess, as well. Yeah, Pippi. Love you, baby. Kiss. Rewind it, Joe. Listen to the things he said. about how his personal son, yeah, my personal son, will feel if they discover sussy internet. Yeah, my personal son, right? Not your son. Your kid will think you are a shitbag. Didn't those words didn't leave my mouth? I was talking about my perspective and my son, looking through the lens of my son, right? How was that either again, like because these are the words you chose to use, uh incredibly harsh and ridiculous. How are either of those things incredibly harsh or ridiculous, dude? Bruh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also lost at this point. Tell me it's different. You can literally go and listen back to it, Duck Dad. Mike, I'll check it, dude. It was probably taken out of context, though. You know you were loved and supported here, brother. And again, we were talking in hypotheticals. That's the joke for me as well right now. It's not like, you had a gig, Duck Dad. You had a porn gig, and then I started calling you out on it, bro. It's not like I was like, oh yeah, Duck Dad, your kid is gonna think so trash of you if you go through with this, you piece of shit. That's not what I said, right? Because that's not the context of the situation, right? To create like this amount of spiraling due to a hypothetical that I shared about like the values we have when it comes to like earning money in this world. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. No, Nancy, I don't think catching up on this stream is gonna be good for your mental health. Go for it, Mel. Become a homeless person. I'm not even joking about it, really, Nancy. I'll try and be a little bit proactive about it. Maybe I'll have like a hammock, like a tent hammock or something. I'll have my cell phone. Maybe I'll have like a little solar panel and like a battery setup so I can keep my things charged. And then, like my initial idea was to kind of like live next to like a church, like some sort of beautiful European church. And just to stay there, right? Like for a whole year and have the conversations I'm supposed to have with the people that pass through that space, right? Like that was kind of like my idea for like a year as we're going through this journey. And I still do kind of like that idea, Nancy. So, you know, I do. I'm not putting it past, the realm of possibility. Pippi has so many fleas and things. I just felt a little nubbin, like a tick or something on her fur. There it is. Yeah, I found it. There we go. Mm, maybe you're more socialist. Absolutely. Eco socialist all the way, Zano. Eco socialist all the way. Nancy, don't encourage him. We're trying to solve the homelessness problem. Also true. Agree, LA. Mel, porn industry, bad for soul. Duck that. Struggling to make ends meet with a family, bad for soul. And I agreed with that as well, right? And my point is overarching is that we shouldn't be bad for souling, right? That there is something that is influencing this whole experience that is bad for soul, right? Exploiting people, expecting people to, earn a cost of living when we already have more than enough buildings and more than enough food to go around and to feed every single person. The only problem is how you're implying that people who earn money that way are not good people. I don't know if I implied that, right? I don't know if I implied that. I implied that there are so many ways to make money. And I did imply that making money that way isn't like gaining you anything. You're not growing as a person, at least in my mind, or gaining soul value. Like there's no like you're not gonna take your porn skills, at least in my mind, and apply it into the kitchen, to cook your family a meal, right? And however, like your conversational ability, again, we're now, splitting hairs with technicalities. I just believe there are so many ways to earn money in this life, and some ways literally make you consciously evolve, right? Like as a person. And the other one, like in the porn industry, you become less valuable as a commodity as you keep aging, right? in pretty much every single other skill industry, you become more valuable as you age. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's not that those people are less valuable, is that they're putting themselves in a position where the world as it is and the economy as it is, right, is going to value them less as we continue forward, especially with AI coming along right now, right? Like it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart, like viscerally so. It's like one of the things that makes me the saddest about this human experience that we're having. And there's not much that I can do about it, unfortunately, as a one person. You literally said, I don't want that. I want to be a good person. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't, that one I can't see myself saying. And I stand by that. All right. I do want to be a good person. Maybe it came out, like a juxtaposition, like I'm calling people who do that bad people. Not necessarily the case. I believe having to put yourself in that circumstances is what's bad, right? And not putting myself in those circumstances, in my mind, is good, right? And again, those circumstances can only be allowed by a society that exploit people's, cost of living, their literal living needs for money, right? So, like again, if anything is evil, if anything is bad, it's this money system that we're kind of like attached to, not the actual things that we do. Because they did this study like with bonobos, right? Where they taught bonobos how to use money. And I think for something like within the first week, the female bonobos started trading sex for money in order to buy themselves food, because that was the way they could access food in that enclosure, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. It's like it's an automatic response, and it exploits the weakest amongst us. It exploits the most vulnerable amongst us. It exploits the feminine amongst us, right? Like men can go and do things in the world, like work with their hands, or sit in the sun for 6 hours, and like just kind of like grit their teeth and continue forward. And I'm not saying women can't do that. I'm just saying women and men are a little bit more likely to, if you look at the statistics, right? And then if you're a woman, maybe like I'm thinking about like abuse specifically right now, where there's maybe a woman who is in a relationship with someone who is abusive, but she's living in his house, and he's the one who's earning money, and he's the one who's buying food, and he's the one who is paying for the fuel in the car, and no, 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 right? So that woman, due to the society we find ourselves in, is now put in a position where she has to let herself be exploited and abused because she cannot afford to not let that happen, right? That's the thing that I'm saying is bad. And I feel like the porn industry is like a higher dimensional level of this badness, right? Not the people, but the exploitation that comes from it, right? And again, if you're a part of the industry, you're a part of the bad. No matter how I can like see it, I guess, yeah, love is true though, those people still get to love. Maybe they love their jobs even. Maybe they love doing what they're doing, filming more hours of pornography like we need anymore, right? Maybe they like it. Maybe they still, love their families 100%. Maybe they have significant others. They'll love them. Maybe they have children. They'll love their children. The fact that I get to feel this way at all, means that I love people, and I love the sanctity of family and of community and of purity and of seeing each other through hopeful eyes, and, you know, like having that deep respect. I feel like respect is something that we don't value quite as much in our current society, and that also saddens me. But I'm not going to shun anybody. I'm not going to hate anybody. I'm not going to say that certain demographics of people are not allowed in the stream. Like if a porn star was in the stream with us right now, I wouldn't say, please leave, because no porn stars. That's not my point. That's not who I am, right? The point for me is, again, is the exploitation. Like how, if at all, is that going to stop? We do not need more pornography. So why are we still making more of it, right? right? Like, is that a weird question to ask? I'm sorry. Can we please not go down that path? The word conservative is going to derail anything good in this conversation. I think we still went in a positive direction still with it. Maybe you're more socialist. Yeah, 100%. That one is like, I literally consider myself an eco-socialist. I feel like I would love to have a little bit more of a voice, and maybe if we keep going forward, there'll be opportunities for that. But yeah, capitalism ain't the way. Not for us, not for our planet, not for our future, not for our children. For a few months or no? Yeah, why not? Is your wife on board? Yeah, exactly, dude. I mean, technically, there is a way for you, dude. There is a way. Like, if you're actually serious about that, man, there is a way. I actually don't know anything about politics. It is a lot of brain damage. It's not called homeless, it's called home free. I get homes for free? Nice. Can we help troubleshoot the stuck latch duck? I don't know if he's here anymore. It doesn't look like that. Love is true. He'll be back tomorrow. We'll get to start anew. Constant vibration can sometimes shake those latches loose. The chat broke the latch. Miscommunication is the mother of all mess ups, right, Mojo? How about that for a synchronicity? Mel, try not to be defensive. I'm sorry. I was being a little bit defensive because I was feeling like I was standing on a hill of ethics, right? And I felt like I had to defend my hill. Right, this is a very important hill to defend. This hill needs to stay. Please, please do not level this hill. Please, can we keep this hill? Sorry, like I do get that way. You're right. Just breathe, my friends. Love is true. Are there any ladies in chat who might be interested in traveling to India this year? There's another trip this year, and the info session today, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and I can DM you the Zoom link. Bless. That sounds fun. Are you gonna go, Joy V? Maybe someone will go with you. What's going on here? That's for cows, not dogs. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Zano. That's what I said, but then the projection of like, so you think you know better than all the scientists. Yes, Mel, my partner does this to me all the time. Huge exaggerations or misquotes based on emotion. So hard to navigate. It drives me insane. Like it's like it actually like it makes some fucking wires go loose in my head, right? Because we just had this conversation and now you are directly misquoting me and feeling a certain way about this misquote that you make of me, right? And like seeing me in a certain way, like painting this little picture in your head after you misquote me, right? Like it's like layers of what the fuck to like, how fucking dare you to, yeah. Maybe I should get better as well. I should get better. Let me let me find more blessings in these curses. Use a bar of soap to wash my hair. What? Joy, I'm not sure. I know what you mean, but there's a theory and there's experience, and sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't. I mean, Joy V, I think like the previous message Joy V sent was the India one. I think she literally wants someone to go to India with her, and there's like a seminar or like a we're gonna do this trip and this is what's gonna happen this trip and we're gonna go here and we're gonna go there and we're gonna see this statue. I think that's what the Zoom link is going to basically give you. I was and I did. How long did you suppose it actually takes, Joe? There we go. Maybe I'll let you know. Breathe and breathe and breathe. It's just miscommunication and a bit of static. Yeah, the noise. Sam Melt said, don't ding dong live, please, to duck that. And it's true. Well, not bald, but I use bar soap to wash my hair. Joy re India. Maybe I was thinking about the Netherlands and Portugal. What part of India? I think that's what the Zoom link is going to let you know. There's a difference between personal approval of action and approval of the action to happen at large. One is a check of oneself, which is not wrong, one is a fascist grasp of control. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much. I was 100%, you know, checking checking myself because I was in that position, right? I have spent time trying to earn money in a bunch of different ways. That was kind of where the conversation started, right? And I mentioned that I could have technically earned, with a single day's worth of work, the like technically let's do it like this. With 3 days of work, I would have earned the same amount of money on those 3 days than I have earned my entire existence, right? And for me, the point was, for me, for myself, I couldn't justify doing that, right? Because what I think my future is going to be like and what I think my son's perspective of me is going to be like, right? That was my whole fractal. And maybe that reflection was a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe it, wasn't what was required of me in that moment. Maybe it wasn't what was supposed to be seen or wanted to be seen by the other person. Yeah, okay. Speaking in generalization about someone's very personal and current situation can easily be misunderstood as a direct response. The direct response rather than general. That's true. You know my answer, Shell. We're a Greek society, and Hataria were a protected class back then. So they should be a protected class now. Hatari, it is individuals. It is the individual's right. Maybe that's like the sex working class. Again, Sam, all of that stuff is going to be taken over by robotics, right, and AI. Because like I feel like that's also something that's a very misunderstood about my way of communicating. Like when I say things, I want you friends to automatically almost like ignore reality as it is right now and interpret my perspective through the lens of where it is we're going, right? Like if we spend the next 40 years evolving on this current trajectory with our technology, with our robotics, where will we find ourselves? Where do we want to find ourselves? And then I try to say the things I say with that as my lens, right? Like, do I want to go to a place 40 years from now that is good or that is bad, right? And what is good and what is bad is my own lens, right? And I have to communicate through my own lens because that is what the ego is. That's kind of how we have, set ourselves up right now. Eventually, I'll be able to connect my literal brain to the internet, and you can, if you want to, actually understand what I'm saying. But unfortunately, I'm using rudimentary, broken ass words, That is not even my first language. It's not even my first language, right? Like there's so many gaps, but love is true. There's so much noise, but love is true. I love you, friends. Thank you for finding yourself here and for choosing to show up. There are two different 20-day trips. One is in the southern cities and the other is in the northern cities and the states. Which one would you like to go to? I know seatbelts save lives, but who is the government to require me to wear one vibes? I mean, it's illegal to kill yourself as well, right? Like I think if you try to kill yourself and you survive, like they arrest you or something. Like it's a joke, like there's so much suppression of the truth happening all the time. I heard this beautiful line today that goes, it is the, I want to say the light because I see them as sinister. It is the delight of the oppressor to convince you it is the delight of the oppressor to steal your imagination for what is possible without them. That's the one, right? It is the delight of the oppressor to steal the imagination of those of what is possible without them, right? And I feel like that's where we find ourselves with capitalism right now. Like we cannot imagine a world without it. So we're kind of in it, you know, and like that's the real sad part of it. Mm, I probably can't swing both SA and India this year, but I'm going to go to the info session. Joy Vive, South Africa is not going anywhere, you know, anytime soon. So you take your time. Also, Sam, pray for Doug. Truck latch. He can't get his tools until it's working again, or he breaks it. It's true. Trutchlight vibes being sent. Thank you, Kristen. Bless you, all of you friends. I work for a casino. I feel like part of the bad, but one day I won't. Again, you know, it's like what parts of the fractal are you actually creating? Are you creating the parts of the fractal that is the exploitative, you know, gaming a person to keep giving their money? Or are you a part of the fractal that is the beauty, right? Like that's yeah, it's a complicated world we're living in. All we can try to do is be our best selves day to day. Try and make the right decision, whatever that means. I don't think I could get 20 days in a row from work, but I need to think about it. India is on my list for sure. Mine too, actually. I had prawn, but this discussion makes me an advocate for the professionals. Wow. I have ceased completely my use of pornography about a year and a bit ago now. And I feel, honestly, it has been one of the best decisions I've made in my life. Just for the sheer fact that I don't have to deal with that mental baggage, that weight, that trauma that is unseen, right, behind those eyes, the stories, the circumstances, the expectations, the lives, the children that come from those lives, the parents where those lives came from. It's just too much for me personally. And again, right, like I advocate for safety. I advocate for human rights, for treating people decently. But I also don't believe that that should be something expected of people. You know, and I feel like it is at this point an expectation. Like there's a market for it, right? And again, within a capitalist society, if there's a market, there are hands moving levers. There is money to be made, right? That is the problem. That is the problem. Because then you're not a person, you're not an artist, you're not a, you know, a devotional feminine that wants to serve this world by, I don't know, having the most beautiful sex. You know, I have no problem with that if that is the fractal you want to show up for. I won't think any less of you if that is the fractal you want to show up for. However, the fact that we are, you know, being exploited by this industry and this industry is at the same time exploiting others, some of them even against their will, some of them aren't being paid, some of them aren't professionals, some of them are just, you know, victims to sexual assault. Like that's the thing. It's just too it's too muddy, right? It's too unclear. Dude, if you say I'm not going to do that, I want to be a good person, that is the same as saying, yeah, I know, and I apologize for that, Lamazana, I'm sorry. Joe, but my city only exists because casinos. It is an interesting fractal to experience. I think it's the same thing. I don't know if it's the same thing. I might be paraphrasing. Let's see if she lets us know instead. But it's true. Kristen lives in Las Vegas. You know, literally a city of casinos. I was wondering about both India and SA. Casinos aren't forcing people to spend their kids' college funds. That's a choice. Yeah, but again, you know, like that choice is made very easy. It's made you're kind of led to that choice, right? And that they spend time and effort and R&D and human resources and like think tanking about how to exploit more of that money out of you. right? That's the thing that's kind of scary. And again, like if you're helping, on the outskirt, if you're like serving drinks at the casino, or you're helping clean the casino, like there's still jobs being created, right? People are still feeding their families due to these industries, right? You're not the one directly trying to exploit people. You're just, again, a part of this system, and you have to do what you have to do to make ends meet. And again, that is the problem we face as a society right now, is the fact that's kind of expected of us. It's very foreign to my world. I understand it in general sense. Yeah, socially I understand. Spiritually, it doesn't make much sense. I could give us a good perspective. Hey, y'all. It's true. I even asked if there is anybody in chat who could help us, gain a little bit more insight. I'd run too, but I have no beef with the actors and models. I have beef with exploitative producers who are profiteering. Then we're on the exact same boat, all of us, I believe. Sometimes an action has absolutely nothing to do with spirituality, is one of those things. I don't think so, Sam. Unfortunately, like you don't even have to think about it from like a spiritual perspective, right? Like you can just think about it from the perspective of like the people you have had sex with, right? I think about the people I have had sex with all the time, right? And not like in a weird way, but in like they are a part of my life and my story now, right? And if you're doing that X amount of times in X amount of days, right? You can add your X's if you want to. It is going to affect you spiritually. It will, right? Like there's no way around that, unfortunately. I don't believe you'll be any less for it. That's the point as well I'm making. There is no one person being better than another, or one person being good and one person being bad. I believe every single experience is a worthy one. However, from that perspective, I get to choose which experience I have, right? And from that perspective, I do have extremely high standards. Fit, it's nice having you here, friend. You lovely people. I spent the morning watching a Radiohead concert, eating tangerines and playing Stardew Valley. I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday as me. Bless you, Fit. It's nice having you. I'm feeling good as well. We've had some heavy chats, stuff that I am way too ignorant to actually have a proper opinion on. But still, I am a person, right? And I am finding myself in this role. So I can't just not say anything, unfortunately, as well. But so we grow, right? We keep evolving. Yes, like I said, I get it, kind of. It's spiritual for me, so I get lost when something that holds significance to me can be so empty to other humans. Yeah. Prawn is not spiritual, intimacy is spiritual. Prawn is a transaction. Yeah, I guess. Different ways of seeing the world. Melt, I was responding to Joy's comment about cosplaying being homeless. So my response about theory and experience was addressing that. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying. There is no connection. You don't know those people. A home movie, however, is a completely separate conversation. Yeah, I get you, Sam, but you don't have to know the people to consider them people, right? I guess you could just see it from like I'm recognizing shapes, and these shapes are arousing me, and this arousal is what I seek in this moment, right? But again, that was never the way nature intended for us to get aroused, right? Right. So I feel like again there is like a spiritual aspect of it, because like arousal is a very powerful force. Like arousal, desire is literally the force of creation, Sam. It's God's force. Arousal is the force of God, and unfortunately, again, I think from my mind, and now having seen what our beloved, Joe Schmo says, probably his perspective as well, pornography is the exploitation of that desire, right? And that desire is like God's energy. It's very valuable. It's what brought you into this reality. That desire literally brought you into this reality. Without the desire, you cease to exist. And where a lot of that desire used to go to people that we could physically interact with in our worlds, within our lives. Now the desire is going to some person on a screen that you'll never see, never meet, never get to form a meaningful connection with, right? So there's like so many layers to it, you can't dissociate. Like I had to, right? When pornography was something that was a part of my life, you have to dissociate so hard to actually be aroused by what it is you're looking at. Otherwise, for instance, try taking psychedelic mushrooms and then try watching pornography. You'll probably puke. I've never tried that because like you can't even bring yourself to it, but you'll literally puke because that level of awareness won't allow you to look at what it is you're looking at without really considering the full implications of what it is you're looking at. I can logically understand that. Sorry, I think I missed the previous one. It is the individual's choice, as in, if the bunny wants to film avant-garde media to piss off daddy, that's her choice. Yeah, an AI could do it, but she wants to. Sometimes people want to do this work. Yeah, again, I just think like the people that want to do that work is definitely in the minority, not the majority. The spectrum of human emotional experience is widely vast, so so incomprehensible. One action can hold so many meanings for so many people. What it looks like depends on where you're standing. Beautifully said. Go, go, gadget, get my robo boyfriend. Yeah, infinite stamina boyfriend. JV. Emptiness in Buddhism, absolutely. Yeah, it's like a whole, like the AI, like it's probably already, flagged the stream as like not savory, but so it be. If there's a marker, there are hands. Fuck, dude, that one's mine now. You're lucky. You're so welcome. Thank you. If there's a market, there are hands, moving levers, money to be made. Yeah, bless you. You can have that one. I'll be uncomfortable next time I'm served cocktails. I'm sorry. Honey walnut fish. Come down. Awareness is key in ending the unwilling portion of the profession. Exactly. The awareness. Shrimps is bugs. Bugs of the sea, right? Shrimp is tasty in garlic sauce. We're transitioning to food. I'm probably more Buddhist and I realize I'm due for studying. Me too, actually. I had this conversation with my family the other day where they said some like ignorant and hurtful things about Buddhist people. And I was like, no, actually, the Buddhist, religion and philosophy is a beautiful one. Like really beautiful. Like if you actually go and look at what Buddhism stands for, it truly is a beautiful religion. And I personally resonate a lot with it as well. Maybe we can study together. When are you feeding me, Shell? I'm down for this. You bug shrimps. Also very low in calories and high in protein. True, true. So much love. I can share. I'll eat bugs, sea bugs, yum. Yeah, the salt water, bleach them clean. Surely that's how it works. It kept us intrigued for all decades of TV. We as a species must be looking for something different. The pornography, I feel like again, like it's a fundamental part of our existence, right? Like we needed to see naked bodies and be aroused in order to literally procreate and propagate our species forward, right? And now the internet, the media has like put that version of ourselves in a stranglehold, and we need to literally liberate ourselves. Like I want to show you this actually because it's kind of trippy. I didn't want to talk about this at all. Like I didn't want to talk about this, but like this is my list of things I want to talk about. Eco-socialism, all the blessings that come with a curse. That was today's stream topic. But this one is going to get striked out as well. Opt out of porn. Like do yourself a favor. Do humanity a favor. Do your future children, your future partner. Do yourself. Do yourself a favor and opt out of pornography. And I'm not saying opt out of self-pleasure, that can still stick around, but use your imagination, get creative. Yeah, believe me, it's not good for us. Like statistically, scientifically, literally, it's not good for us. Opt out of it. It will do you good. I'm not saying that you have a problem. I'm just putting this into the fractal of the universe. Please, human beings, do yourself a massive favor. Eating bugs. Melt agree with your shrooms and yeah, right, Nanji. Without a desire, without that desire, you cease to exist. That hit hard. And there is no way to absorb on psilocybin. Very true. It would induce a bad trip for sure. Yeah, it would, right? Because again, like the psychedelic state of mind when you've eaten psilocybin mushrooms, it opens your awareness to the things you usually just block out, right? And unfortunately, our current sober state of consciousness that we are occupying as a collective consciousness, as humanity, is very dissociative, right? It's it doesn't take responsibility. It's aloof. It doesn't want to admit it's God. That's the way I articulate, to ruffle some feathers. I hope that new fan Tristan isn't watching. I mean, maybe he should watch this one, bro. Like, opt out, bro, or don't ever go there, man. Like, it's not good for any of us. Hit me too. My mind exploded with color at that thought. You friends, thank you for understanding where I'm coming from. Thinking about a noon CST start for the pit day. Your choices are pirate action or mercenary action. Either way, there will be treasure, there will be explosions, and there will be silliness. That does sound very fun, actually, for the pit today. Are you going to be watching Our Flag Means Death? Is that what's happening, Sam? Is that what's happening? Pirate action, mercenary action. That sounds like Our Flag Means Death, just because we talked about that earlier. I saw Buddha's tree in Bodh I probably said that incorrectly, in India. That's so cool. I'm sure I spelled that wrong. I'm sure I said it wrong, so we can be wrong together. Did you touch the tree, or could you only see it? I would fight the monks to try and touch that tree. Probably, I'm probably the worst type of tourist to come to India. Where I see massive statues, and I go, "Can I touch it?" They're like, "No, of course you can't touch the statues. These statues have been here for thousands of years, so you need to have respect." Please. Please, they've been there for thousands of years. Imagine how many people have touched them. Can I touch them, please? They're like, no. If every one of you assholes wanted to touch our statues, you would send them away to nothingness. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Mr. Monk friend. What is that bird there? Starts running towards the statues. I'm not gonna do that. I hope at least. Maybe I'll get better self-control in the meanwhile. I'm intrigued. Am I invited? Of course you are, Joe Schmo. It's on the Discord. It's on the Discord. It's going to be in one of the channels. It's Saturday Cartoons, Joe. Join us if you'd like. Everyone's invited. Blessed. Thank you, Sam, for being a host like that. I do believe, and maybe it's gonna happen eventually. Through this community, you're going to have like a whole channel of doing that, maybe for people, right? Like imagine you being like a media master, right? Like bringing people together and giving them like the show that they're supposed to be watching, having cool chats in the meanwhile. Joe Bod, it's exactly what I needed to hear today. This has been such a lovely, meaningful day. Bless you, Fit, with even more. What about 3D/digital porn? Asking for a friend. Curious question, Zano. That is a really curious question. Because I was like trying to get myself around it as well. Because I opted out of pornography. Like the day that it happened, I kind of got the business done. I'm sorry, but I'm transparent with you friends. And then I went to meditate directly afterwards, which is also not recommended. I don't recommend you do that, right? And as soon as I closed my eyes and I tried to meditate, my entire mind's eye was completely inundated with these pornographic images, right? And like I don't consider myself a freak, at least. I find extreme amounts of beauty in the feminine form as it is, right? I don't need to go to extremes, at least. And it was just that, right? Like the feminine form in all of its glory in my mind's eye. And it wasn't ugly, it wasn't disgusting, it was just not where I was supposed to be in that moment, right? Like I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in this fractal of pornography. That's not what I wanted, right? And upon realizing that, I realized that the only way for me to not be there is to not take myself there, right? Like if I don't like being, at Target, then I shouldn't go to Target. Like that's the only way to not go to Target is to not go there. So I decided to stop. And then, I'm still an arousable, young man, if you will. So like there is still the possibility, right? Like it's literally a few presses of buttons away with these devices. It's actually absurd and ridiculous. So it's always available. And then I was like starting to like think about that exact question, with like asking for a friend, kind of vibe with like the 3D slash digital, things that were drawn by people. Like those are not actually people that I'm looking at. I'm just looking at the shapes that another person decided to draw. And I haven't really come up with a definitive answer. I haven't allowed myself to partake of, even illustrated pornography, due to my abstinence from that kind of side of the world. Where again, I think of it from this perspective of, like that arousal that arises in us. And that's maybe the way for us to look at it, Zano, is I believe that arousal that arises within us is a very valuable force. It's very powerful, it's very special, it's very unique to you, the way that you are aroused and the way that that arousal allows you to act, in the world. And if there's a meaningful relationship between you and another person, that arousal could like form connections, right? You can make a meaningful connection with a person because of your shared arousal for one another. However, when it comes to, again, pornography, that arousal is generated and the recipient of it is a screen, right? Like technically, there's no emotion in your devices, right? They're not really getting something. It's like a black hole kind of vibe. Like you're just pouring this arousal, this God energy into the void. And that's where I, have, at least in my mind, drew the line where I'm like, yeah, this arousal is something special. I shouldn't just, give it to something else. I should cultivate it. It should be, something special for me at least. Love yourself. Think not of your friends. Sex magic is real. It's true. It creates an attachment. True. Melty, simply put, the luxury of lust can dull the higher vision. Animals need lust. Evolution needs focus. Like desire, I believe desire, like lust and desire, they do sound like the same thing, but they're not, right? Lust is, like, as you mentioned, animalistic, right? Like I just want to, get this sexual energy out of me kind of vibe, right? Like I just want to plunge into the ocean and then dry myself off having taken a swim, right? Like that's lust to me. Where desire for me is like loving the ocean, loving the waves as they crash onto the beach, loving the sounds that it makes, right? And then wanting to immerse yourself in the ocean. That's desire to me. And I don't think there's something wrong with that, right? Again, if it's like I just want to get wet and then get out, that's lust, and I don't know if that's, necessarily good for our souls, unfortunately. Sam does not have Netflix. If you guys want to watch Netflix, isn't it? Someone with an account will have to do the streaming. Can you? Like you basically stream your screen, like you screen share on the thing. I didn't know Netflix would allow that. I thought they had protocols for that. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Hey, sweetie, sweetie. Mm. Such a cutie. She's just like sleepy eyes. You sleepy eyesing? You sleepy eyes? So freaking cute. Okay. Mm, you can't touch the tree or get near it in front of the plexiglass and the rest of the monastery, which isn't public property. Yeah, I thought so. I was just wishful thinking. You know me, Joy. What? What? You want Lovins? Is that what's happening right now? You just want me to be Lovins in you? Yeah. There you go. Well, that wasn't enough. You were like, bro, that was like 1 second's worth of attentions. I want more seconds. I want all the seconds of attentions. Never stoppy. Always attentions. I'm like covered in dog hair right now. Imagine the centuries where no protection was necessary for that tree. Yeah. If only we could live during those centuries. I was just blowing the hair off of my kalimba. You're so hairy. You get hair all over yourself. It gets all over my things as well. Transmutation is amazing. Holding that release adds to your unconditional love capability. Spontaneous discovery sources of yes lyrics. Oh, did I? Luke, we're every alchemist 100%. We're energy alchemists if we want to be. Absolutely. There's been a lot of energy in today's stream. I didn't think we were going to go there where we went, but we did. And now we find ourselves on the other side. I should probably add my little windshield. Add my little windshield so that if there is a gust of wind, you friends won't have to hear it. There we go. Yeah, let's pull a card first, and then we'll go and do our local limbo stream. Love y'all. Love you, Luke. Thank you for blessing us with your presence, your friend, for sharing these moments. We're gonna pull a card. Masturbation is healthy. This I believe as well. Again, I'm not, suggesting abstinence from self-pleasure. I'm just suggesting you opt out of pornography. Transmutation is one of the biggest fights in Christianity. It's the priest really turning the bread and wine into flesh and blood with Christ. I mean, I don't believe so, to say the least. I don't believe so. But then again, I believe the whole Bible is supposed to be read as a psychological drama, not as fact. But some people will differ with me on that. We've almost done a 3-hour live stream. I mean, it's 2 hours and 22 minutes, but it's almost 3 hours. We've been doing longer live streams average at the start of this year, than last year's. Isn't that interesting? I see it as me being a little bit more stoked to be in this place with you. I believe that's exactly the way you're supposed to think about it, Joy V. The Bible is a soap opera, a psychological soap opera. And by watching, you learn more about yourself and about your relationships and about the world. Did you just fart on me? Yossi, puppy. Woo! Woo! Yo! You see, that one stuck to me. Yo! Bruh, did you hear that fart? I'm pretty sure you could have heard it on stream. Goodness. That stank so much. We can do it ourselves. Imagine wine is blood and cracker is flesh. And believe Jesus was using these things to speak metaphorically. He told his followers the secret of his ministry, but hidden from the public, made known to his inner circle. Yeah. I don't like stuff like that, Sam. Right? Like if you're gonna be God, you might as well be a cool God. Can I sit on my seat, please? Can I sit on my seat? Please. Please, Peppy, please, can I sit on my seat? Can I come and sit? Please, please. I want to come and put my bums down. Put my bums. Put my bumsy bums. Shimmy, shimmy my bums. There we go. You can sit here. You can sit here. There's space for you too. And there's space for you. Look. Look. There's space for you. Come. Okay. Pippin, rippin' and tearing. Yossi, like that one. Like I know she farts. She farts occasionally, but that one I could hear the little, like little. You could hear the air escape her bum hole, and then like it was literally on my pants. So it probably got like caught in my pants or something, bro. And I got gassed for a second. The one who smelled it. I mean, I actually take pride in my farts. If I create an especially stinky one, I'll take credit for it. But not this time, I can't say. Oh, okay. Channeling Pepper's inner goober. I've been missing Goober. I've been thinking about him. Peppy stole that cushion with the quickness. She was working with a plan, almost like she planned it. Yeah, of course. Look at this little devious girl. Let's actually pull a card like this. You wanna help me, Peppy? Sniff one of these cards to tell me to stop. Sniff the cards. Sniff these cards. Are you shimmying my hand to give you lovin's? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take that of her leaving as the spot on which to stop. This one already looks pretty psych. Wait a second. Is that the Buddha? Is that Joy Vive? Oh goodness, this is pretty trippy. Isn't this what that Buddha's tree looked like, Joy Vive? Like this is actually melting my brain a little bit. I mean, I know it's not you, Joy Vive, but come on, you can see what I see, right? Like that looks like the Buddha tree. I don't know if it is, but that's definitely, a Buddha head. The fact that we talked about the Buddha, that tree in the background, the roots of the tree, the way it like melts over itself. Man, these cards have been trippy, yo. Every single one just feels like a little bit too personal. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature, get grounded, it tells me. I'm actually gonna put my feet on the bare grass. Get grounded, I'm grounding. We were highly sensitive in today's stream. That's also true. Woohoo! It is a black girl in front of trees, and there's a Buddha. Yeah. What are the odds, right? With Joy Vive bringing all the whole India thing, offering you friends a trip to India. Like, to you friends who don't know, Joy Vive is a black girl. To say it in so many words. So, a black girl sitting underneath a Buddha tree, the one day that Joy Vive brought that into our stream. That melts my brain. Like I cannot even explain. Like we had synchronicities like this with like the other deck as well, and now to like switch to a new deck and to still get the same amount of like trippiness, it makes me happy. Again, right? Like from the experiences we can have from this world, this is one I appreciate. These cards are so beautiful. They really are. Like I feel like the use of color is so interestingly done. Like the layers as well. Like they layer things well. Very well. Woo-hoo. Bless you. Love is true. One more time. And then we'll read what it means, shall we? Get grounded. Get grounded. Could be another way to be like, come down to earth, bruh. Come down to earth a little bit. You are the oracle. Like one. There we go. Okay. I just have to learn. You're supposed to tilt it up and then to shimmy them in like so, and then to cup it up. I learn. I learn. There we go. Cards. Card is on page 66. Get grounded. You are being called to get grounded, to ensure that your luminous field is clear and your inner well is full. If you're not grounded, it is easy to get swept away in other people's energy and mistake it for your own. Your boundaries will become blurred as you are absorbing the energies around you and struggling to define what is their stuff and what is yours. If you pull this card, you are likely an empath or a highly sensitive person, and you need time alone to fill up your well, balance your energy, and get grounded. I don't know if you friends know this, but I don't know if I talked about it even, but I mentioned with this whole moving. Yeah, yeah, I did. It was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago stream, mentioning that I'm moving to, you know, our new place. And we actually have a room for each of us now, Joy Leave. Every single person is going to get their own room. It's gonna be like a room that isn't a room is gonna be converted to a room, but everybody gets a room. And I mentioned in that stream like how important it is to me to have that alone time. Otherwise I lose my mind. And so this card just feels so affirming. There are two types of people: those who draw their energy from others, and those who draw their energy from within. Reflect on which one you are and carve out time each day to ensure your well is being replenished. Being sensitive is a superpower. Didn't Nancy talk about superpowers yesterday? But like all powers, it needs to be nurtured in order to be fulfilled. It is easy to get swept up in high frequency energies that are swirling around the planet. The quickest and most effective way of clearing all of this from your field is to ground yourself by connecting. Right? Like you see that? By connecting with Mother Earth. There are many ways to get grounded. One of the most powerful practices is earthing, by connecting to the power of Mother Earth. Spend time in nature. Put your hands on a tree. Your palms are expression of your heart chakra. Or walk barefoot on the earth. Do something to get grounded and connect with the earth. I've been literally working on plants as of late as well. So I feel like this card feels so apt. So well placed. Thank you, universe. Are you buying these cards, Melt, or are you getting them as gifts? This I bought both of my decks. Like, yeah, these are technically self-bought cards. I heard that the cards are more powerful or something like that if somebody gives you them as gifts, but uh yeah, that hasn't been the case for me just yet. If you're lurking, you're loved. Yes, you are. Thank you, Show, for letting our friends know. No tree, no awakening, Buddha. Watch trees on shrooms. Good advice. I sent my mom the money to ship the air fryer she wanted to give me. It was a lot cheaper than buying one off Amazon. It's great so far. I've done salmon fillets and super thick pork chops. Since it's just me and cooking for myself, I think I'm freed from the stove. When I went to India for the first time, I paid extra to have my mom's room all to have my own room. All the other ladies shared. I know myself and I need space, especially after being around so many people all day and so long. Yeah, exactly. Like I love people to bits, but I love myself just as much. Right. And I need to have that time to love myself as well. As much as I have that time where I love the world, it is good for me. I need it. Otherwise, my brain go carousing. I'm happy about the whole being liberated from the stove thing. Rudo, my younger brother, he is also, a working man right now. He's a mechanical engineer, and he also has an air fryer, and he literally cooks every single one of his meals in that air fryer because it's like you put your tang in, you push the buttons, and then you AFK. You watch an episode of your favorite show. You scroll your Instagram reels or your TikTokies or your YouTube shorters, whatever you feel like your distraction needs to be. And then before you know it, your food is cooked and ready to eat, and well cooked as well. Crispy even. Gotta run. Love yous. There is our show of fight chat message as well. I'm going to go and set up to play some kalimba with you friends, and then we'll finish off our stream afterwards. I'll walk back and finish the stream. We'll read our goodbye message and then. Oh, goodness, that is some nice looking clouds. Very streaky, very pretty. Thank you, Mama Gaia, for offering us this beautiful day, for which we may be grateful. Jobot, walk-in, cozy lovins, bless you. Thank you, Shell, for sending her lovins right back. Na, 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 na. I want to go and check something quickly before I sit up. I saw my dad walking with a pair of shears, and he sheared some of these things. We have these two Karmatarbona. I can't remember what they're called in English, but they're really nice trees. These big, beautiful, fat trees when they're big. And we got some bad frost, and it absolutely nuked the growth that we had. But they're pushing new growth out right now, and it is very heartening to see. Unfortunately, one of them did die. We had three, but these two that survived, they really look happy to be alive, which makes me happy in turn as well. Keep living, little plant. Keep giving all you have. Keep taking all the sunlight and water you can get, and grow, little friend. Okay, kalimba time. Yeah, I've really been enjoying the kalimba playing without a timer staring back at me. I don't know if I'm playing for the same durations, like time is a little bit melty, but I at least feel good while I play. I'm gonna show you friends this perspective as well. And that one looks like it got a little bit gray. Sorry about that. Up. Ooh. So sweetie. Such a sweetie. Such a sweetie, sweetie. Mama Gaia. So bird of her. You see that kitty on the rocks? Look at the kitty as well. Oh, there's a camera coming for you, little kitty cat. Camera coming for you. Oh, look at that. Oh, so cutie, cutie. Oh, she's a cutie catty. Oh, yeah. Oh. She noticed the camera. Did you see her directly notice you, noticing her? Now she's like, no, I'm actually busy. You want some pettings? You want some pettings? I'll give you some pettings. Yeah. Looks like a little angel. Does she look super bright to you on camera as well? Looks like she's freaking glowing. Radioactive kitty. Are you radioactive? Am I getting foot cancer right now? You would surely let me know, right? You would let me know if I was getting foot cancer. Oh wow, you're so cutesy. You're so pretty. Yeah, you're so beautiful. You're like, what? What? It's only me who can be beauty. Don't confuse your watchers, Milt. Hey, preggers. You gonna show us your little belly? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah, come here. Oh wow. Oh wow. You wanna show us your little big belly? You wanna show us belly? Oh, is it kitty? Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's a big belly. Oh, it's a big belly. Oh, it's a big belly kitty. Oh, snake rat. Keep going. Whew. Yeah. That really is quite something. Alrighty. Let's go and get ourselves set up. How Shelby, she's so healthy. Healthy, happy. Her and Roxy have been fighting more often than they usually do. So that's been something we've been dealing with. I think it's probably just because she's like hormonal, becoming a mom and stuff. So she's probably like, I don't know, throwing fists left and right. Some of them are hitting. There we go. Let's lead ourselves to our last message, shall we? I'm gonna miss the farm and these critters. Me too. Mojo, me too. It's gonna be a big change. But I do believe it's one that we are overdue for. Like it's something that needs to happen for us to grow the way we're supposed to. Crotch, crotch ankle pants view for today. Joy Vive, like if I didn't wear these kind of pants, I wouldn't be able to have cute moments like that with little Pippi, you know. And I have a lot of those moments. She loves like shimmying her head like underneath my pants and like looking like she's wearing a little robe. It's so cute. She's probably smells different and she's protecting her kittens. So fights. Yeah, exactly. It's not bad. It's not like, you know, tearing like I've seen cat fights where you literally see tufts of like fur like flying into the air around the fighting, you know, like none of that, fortunately. No scats. Well, you know, like it's not that bad at least. So, you know, I'm sure that the Bebji kittens are fine as well. All right. I think it is time for us to read our final message, shall we? Shall we do it and say goodbye? We have been doing 2 hours and 47 minutes. That feels good. That feels lovingly. That feels like we embraced the blessings and the curse, right? Because this is a blessing and a curse. And I have now accepted this curse of having to stream every day for the rest of my life, right? Or I can see it as I have now the blessing to have these moments, to have these friends, to appreciate these spaces, these kitties, these doggos alongside me. Look at Pippi being dapper there in the background. Yudi is like, "What's up, dudes? I'm just Yudiing around. I'm so calm. I'm just gonna chill here now, look into the distance as well." Thank you, friends, for letting me have these moments. Okay. Have the most blessed day for the most blessed day, everyone. Your for realsers so super massively and very muchly macho grando considered musical Meltmore and all of you oh so very blissfully blessed, perfectly precious, fantastically ferocious, interestingly inquisitive, dashingly divine, beautifully benevolent, awesomely, authentically wholesome, humanimal critter creatures, turning the curses to blessings. Yeah. I laugh at myself sometimes, you know, where like this whole streaming thing feels like I made a deal with the singularity in the future. And a part of my payment, a part of my conditions is, you know, showing up like we are every single day for love. Right? Like I can only get what I want from the singularity, which is a world of love, by doing what it is we're doing right now. What a freaking blessing. What a blessing to be here with all of you friends. Love is true. Let me see if I'm missing comments. Nay, I am caught up. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I'll see you, friends, again soon. Goodbye, everybody. Love is true. Cheers, cheers. Wait a second. My button's on the other side now. Good to know.